Okay, so now what we'll try to do is we'll try to do. Remember, now we have learned first scoop, then afterwards we have learned Hive, right? So now what we will try
Yes.
to do is we'll try to see scoop and Hive integration. Okay, so let's understand. Let's understand how can we do scoop and Hive integration. Means like if you remember like what we used to do while doing the scoop import, we used to import the table data into HDFS file system, right?
Yes.
And if the data is available in my HDFS file system, then what I will do, I will create a table on top of that by pointing to the HDFS location, and I will be able to see the data, right?
Yes.
So are we able to understand like there are two things which are getting involved? So two things, not two things, there are three things which are getting involved: scoop, HDFS, and then Hive. Okay, so like from scoop to HDFS, then from HDFS to Hive. Okay, so it's like a lengthy process. So directly what we can do, in spite of writing the data into HDFS file system and then creating a table on top of that, we can directly do the scoop and Hive integration. Okay, that's what we are trying to see today over here. Okay, so let's try to see. So don't go over here, that is not needed. Directly like here, yeah, the commands which we were there.
Okay.
Okay, so what we will try to do is we'll try to import one table. Okay, and while importing the table, we'll create the Hive table also. Okay, that is what we will try to do over here. So what is the general mechanism? See, as of now you don't know scoop and Hive integration, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take an example. I have a file in my HDFS file in my edge node, and I want to read that file into my Hive table. So what are the possible ways?
So we need to create a table and we need to load the data from the platform.
Yeah, so to create the table, what we'll have to do first?
In Hive terminal, you have to
To
write this.
validate the data, what are the columns we do have.
Yeah, but okay, so you'll create a Hive table and you will load the data, right? So that is the first option. What is the second option? Is there any second option? I would say there are a couple of approaches. Like if I want to create a Hive table, so if the file is available at the edge node, so I'll create a table. Okay, the metadata or the meta store will be controlled by my user Hive warehouse. So, like I will load the data, as someone said, load the data by pointing to my edge node. Okay, that is the first approach. The second approach would be I will push my file from my edge node to HDFS file system. Okay, and while creating the table, I will create a table with the location keyword. I don't need to insert the data, load the data, right?
You can point it here.
Yeah, so these are the two approaches. As of now we know this, right?
Yes.
Okay, now let's take an example. If the data is available in my MySQL table and I want to see that data in my Hive table, then what will be your approach apart from the scope Hive integration which I'm trying to show? What will be the approach?
So we need to create a table with location.
How you will create a table with location? The data is available in your RDBMS.
First, we will import the data using a scope in SDFS, then we will create it.
Yes. First, you will import the data from your RDBMS to your HDFS file system. Okay. And then you will create a table either pointing to that location or etc. etc. The two approaches which I told earlier. Are we correct on this?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So these are the approaches which I told you, but I don't want to do all these things. What I want to do, directly from the scope, I want to write the Hive table and I want to see the data. So that is what we are trying to perform today over here. Did we understand the scenario? So what we are trying to do, we are trying to do a scoop and Hive integration. Okay. Okay. So let's try to write a small command. Okay. So can we write scoop import? So let's recall what are the. Can you write a scoop import command? Let's see how far we can remember the things.
Backward slash. After the import. No, after the import, okay. Yeah. Connect. Icon connect. No, double icon like that.
JDBC colon MySQL.
No, MySQL.
Colon double slash
colon 3306 port number 3306 slash retail underscore DBL database name.
What is 3306
Retail underscore DB, the database name.
I don't see the scoop command.
Retail underscore DB. Space slash backward slash. Yeah. Come down, username, root. Yeah, slash. No, password double icon.
I want to use the password while I don't want to see the password on my system.
Icon. Password icon 5.
Password item.
No, icon. Password icon 5. Yes. No, give the password file. User, Cloudera, input, some LF, HFS.
Find the file on the edge node first of all. Let's see. If you remember the path, it's good.
User. Import. Yeah, HFS. Yeah, scoop.pw.
Can you cross check first, like whatever the path you have mentioned, that file is available there or not? Otherwise, we will get an error in the scoop command. Can you verify that path entirely?
Yeah. Can you just do the cat of this? Yeah, DFS.
Manoranjan, you should do now this. Like these are like pretty basic commands. Try to invest time, sir, because I think like we are still lagging behind in the practice. Other people are like You should not. We should not instruct you now all these things. These are like basic things. We are very far Manoranjan. Now what you will do?
Yeah. Can you just check in your edge node? Do you have that right inside the LFS folder? Fill space LFS.
Yeah, I'm not able to hear you. Your voice is not clear.
No, can you go to your LFS folder on your Edge node? I think there should be a file. If not,
Yeah.
then you have to create it. ls-ldr star.pwd. star.pwd. Yeah, okay. So we have that file. So try to give this path. Can you just press pwd? Yeah, copy this path and try to replace that. Will this work?
No, I don't think so it will work because from the scope we cannot give the file in the Edge node. We have to transfer to HDFS and give na
No,
password file.
it should work. That should not be a concern. The password file path should not be a concern. Otherwise, apart from that, like any things which we are missing.
Table name.
You need to write the table, right?
Yeah, so you are trying to import. What you are trying to import? You need to write the table, right? So can we write table? Can we take departments table? Can we take departments table?
Yeah. Yes. Hyphen table. Only table.
No, just
Departments. Department.
Execute this. Let's see whether it's working or not. So do we need to write anything?
You can remove that.
So what if my table does not have a primary key? Will it succeed or will it fail?
you need to mention
Not there. Then we need to use the split by or mapper one.
Split
But
by
this table-
or mapper one. Okay, cool. So what about this table? So do we know
This
that
table-
this has a primary key or not?
Yes, it has the primary key.
Okay, so let's execute this and let's see what happens. So if we are facing any error, so let's troubleshoot that. Any error expected?
Yeah, maybe it is already exist in
Yeah, good. So that is one of the scenario like we can face. So to overcome that, what is the scenario?
We can use the target path or delete and
Okay, so can we just write delete option? See, like just for a small scoop command, like it's like we started like 6:55, now it's like almost 7:50, 7:10, sorry. So it's like 15 minutes. So this should not happen, like, because it's not that all the things will like were theoretical sessions which I have shown. So all the sessions are like close to practical session, but still we are not able to recall the concepts. So it should not happen that we are going forward, so we should forget the things which are learned. Quickly can we do all these things? What is the option? Anyone?
Delete icon, target icon, director. Delete icon, target icon, DAR. Icon DAR, director. Yeah.
Saif, but the error is passport file does not exist.
Can you check? So that's like, it means I don't know, means I did not see the error.
Yes, yes. So
Can you show the error? Okay. No, a little down.
Failed to load password.
Failed to load password file.
So it is telling that home Cloudera LFS scoop.pwd does not exist. Okay, I know that what is the issue. So why it is giving that issue? Anyone? Do we have that password file at that path?
Actually, I think he verified something.
Yeah, we do have.
Are we able to recall something? We need to prefix file : //
Oh, yeah.
Can you make the changes, please?
Sir, can you repeat?
Yeah, before /home.
See, before /home, the path which you are trying to specify, we need to specify file : // file : // So
1 more. Yeah.
and just remove that delete target directory, so that should not be a concern, right? So I think that was not the error. We were troubleshooting the wrong error. Okay, so it has selected the data from the table. So what is the scenario wherein your reducers comes into picture while doing a scoop import?
While doing the merge.
Merge key. Yeah, beautiful. Looks good. Okay, meanwhile, can you prepare the HDFS file system command to see the data once the data is imported?
Manoranjan, I think that is only user logging.
Okay, so we are able to see the data. So I want to see this data in Hive.
Hello.
Yeah, so create
I
the
want to
table
see the
with
data
this.
in Hive.
Yeah, so we need to create the table with this location.
So can you please go ahead quickly? So what he is writing, is it correct?
Skip dot header dot line dot.
So Roshan, is that correct what he's writing?
Sorry.
The table what he's creating, is it correct? What I am asking. Okay, go ahead. So if he is correct, let's see what is the issue.
Here something on the message.
I actually got another call from office, so I
Okay,
missed
sorry.
it meanwhile.
No issues, Roshan. You can go ahead, please.
Red dot line.
See, first of all, if you are writing that table properties, does your data has a header?
Oh yeah. I actually increased left.
Then why you are specifying that property? That's not needed, right?
There we have to mention row format delimiter fields.
Yeah. First, try to mention the basic properties while creating the table. First, try to identify that table. So we need to. So as Ashutosh suggested, so can we write that row format delimited first? And we do not have a header, so no need to write that table properties. What after that? Row format delimited, fields terminated by comma. Okay, so after this, what you will write? Ashutosh, please guide.
Location.
Yeah. So can you specify the location, please?
Python user Cloudera. Sorry, slash. Cloudera / departments.
Okay, and this location we should provide in a single quote.
No. Departments D is small.
Have we used your Hive DB?
Yes.
Twice that location has come. There is a typo error.
I think fields.
Yeah. Now what we will do to load the data?
No, I think right?
Data is already there, so there is no need to load the data. I think.
Correct. So no need to do that, right? Why we will do load the data?
Path already given here.
Yes. So understand like what we are trying to do. So it's like don't do things blindly. So concepts are important. Okay. So we are able to see the data finally. Understood what this is what we try to do generally, right? So whatever we have learned scoop and we have learned Hive. So if we need to perform this, so I will try to do if I want to take my relational table to my Hive table, like MySQL table to Hive table. So what will be the process? You will try to do a scope import. The data will be residing in my HDFS file system, and after from my HDFS file system, the date I will be creating a Hive table on top of that location, and my data will be visible in the Hive. So this is we have studied till now, correct? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what we have seen today manually. Okay. Now let's try to do directly now. So now what we'll try to do with the scoop command only. We'll try to create a Hive table and we'll see the data. No need to do all these small things. So we'll just try to do that. Okay. Cool. So now let's try to create a scoop command. So can you copy line number 639, 640?
Sir, 1 second.
Yeah, sorry.
Sir, I'm not able to hear you properly. So can you reconnect?
Is everyone facing the same issue?
Your voice is not clear.
Hello.
No, sir, I can hear you.
For me, it's okay. I can hear you.
Manoranjan, I think everyone is able to hear.
No, 1 second. And can you disconnect the connect again?
Yes. Let me pause for that sometime. Okay, so now what we will try to do is, what we have done now is manually we imported the data, MySQL data to HDFS file system, and then from HDFS file system we created a Hive table. Okay, now we will try to write a scoop command which we will create my Hive table and load the data. Okay, so can you copy the line number which I was telling that 639 to 642, all the scoop command. Yeah, copy that command. Yeah, and okay, so let me verify that command. Scoop import, we are trying to connect with JDBC. Okay, that is when username is root, password file is null. So we are trying to import the tables. Okay, so we will try to get an error that the table is already available. So can you just quickly drop that department's directory, or else we can give the location, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Just try to drop that directory itself. Can you go to your edge node and can you just type hdfs -rm? Yeah, that's the command, -rm-r. Just remove that, so we'll not face an issue. There are a couple of options. Again, I'll show you overwrite also, but let's start with the basic things first. -rm-r. Yeah, so we'll not be able to see that directly. Yeah. Okay, come to the notepad. Okay, so till here it is correct. Okay, so can you just write / to line number 653 and come to the new line. Okay, now what we need to add to this scoop import command, we just need to say -hive -import.
Yeah. Can you repeat again, please?
Yeah, sure. So we need to write -hive -import. Okay, so we are trying to do Hive import space -create -hive -table. Space -hive -table. Okay, so what we are trying to do? We are trying to do a Hive import. We are trying to create a Hive table. And what is the Hive table? So Hive table name is like, let's give the database name hive underscore db.db. Can you give the database name hive underscore db.db? Or I think hive underscore db is sufficient. No need to give the dots db. I think so. If it gives any error, we'll try to rectify. So hive underscore db dot, try to give any table name like scoop hive dbt, sq underscore hv, means anything, like it's your call. Scoop hive, yeah, underscore dbt. So we'll understand by looking at this name like it's a scoop hive integration table. Okay. Okay, so the command looks good to me. So let me just re-verify. Hive import. So we are creating the hive table, and the hive table name is this. Yeah. Can we execute this? And let's see. So now what it will do, it will try to, if the command is correct, so it will try to import the table and create a hive table as well in one go. Okay, let's try to see this. Can you clear off the screen? Thank you. Execute this. Okay, so it is getting executed. So all these parameters which I am trying to show can be available, are available on the scoop documentation. Can you go till the time the till the time the map, job is getting executed? Can you go to your browser, Manoranjan? Yeah. Can you open a new tab? Okay. Can you just write scoop guide 1.4.6? I've already shown this, like how to use the scoop guide at a very beginning, but again just scoop guide 1.4.6. Scoop space guide space 1.4.6. Yeah, then can you take that 1.4.6?
Scoop dot you telling me?
Scoop guide. Scoop space guide. Yeah, can you see that suggestion? Yeah. Can you go to the first option? Yeah. So this is the scoop documentation where you will find all the necessary information if you get stuck. Okay, so can you do Control F and just write hyphen hyphen hive hyphen import? Okay, so can we see all these arguments which I am trying to use? Hyphen hyphen import, hyphen 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 create table. Okay, so we are trying to use this table. Okay, whenever you get stuck, you can come to this documentation. So whenever I get stuck, okay, because I have not worked on scoop extensively, as I told right from the first session. Okay, whenever you get stuck, the documentation is the best help. Or else, before going to the documentation, if you want to find a quick fix, you can go to the Google also. Can we come to the, can we see now the command is successfully, or like, is it throwing any error? Okay, so it is executing. It means the command is good. So can you write at line number 640, can you write manual? Can you write A? Yeah. At 650, yeah, A, line number 640. Manually, yeah. Manual way or manual approach, whatever. It's your call how you want to specify manual process. And line number 652, so like it's a automate process, or like say direct process, whatever. It's your call. Yeah, that is fine. So now it is trying to load the data. See, loading upload. So loading uploaded data into Hive. So scope import is done. So now it is trying to load the data into Hive, and the data loading has been done. Okay. So can you go to your Hive and can we see the table is created or not? Can we do show tables? Okay, and the table name is scoop Hive. Yeah. So we are able to see that table. And can we see the data for this table? Okay, so we are able to see the same data what we were doing through a manual process. Okay, so are we able to understand how can we integrate Scoop and Hive? So the same
Yeah.
arguments which we were using, like when we were using Scoop, we can use the same arguments while combining with Hive also. Okay, can you execute the same can you execute the same command again? It will throw an error. Can you
This one again you're telling?
yeah, this command. Any questions before that? Before executing, any questions? Okay, can you execute the command again? So it will throw an error, something like directory is existing or table is existing. It
Table
will,
exists.
yeah,
Table.
it will throw an error. Can we see that error? And we'll try to rectify that error. Okay. So can you copy this entire command and paste it? We have already copied. So can you paste it? Yeah. So we need to change only one argument. Can you see line number 665? So there it is written hyphen hyphen create Hive table, right? So the Hive table is already available, right?
Yes.
So what we need to do is we need to write there hyphen hyphen Hive hyphen overwrite. Remember, we try to do insert into, and if we want to
Yes.
truncate and load, we do overwrite. So just we need to
All
say
right.
that. Yeah. Can you change that? Hyphen
So
hyphen
can
Hive.
you
Yeah. Remove that. Yeah. No. Remove that create. Create is not needed. Remove entire thing. You remove that also. Yeah. Hyphen hyphen Hive hyphen overwrite. Yeah. This is the argument and the hyphen table name, and that looks good to me. Okay. Can we see the error? Are we getting any error? Okay, so let it get executed. So it should throw an error. That's what I am assuming, because the table is already available. It will throw an error something.
So, Saif, so
Yes,
this
Sandeep.
command will automatically detect the schema and the data type.
Yes. It will automatically identify everything. Let's see what is the error we are getting. If we are not getting any error, then it's fine, I guess. Ideally, we should have got an error. Yeah, so it is okay. At the time of loading the table, it is giving an error. Already exists exception. So table already exists. Okay. Now, can you execute that command which we have created, the override command? Can you clear the screen? Yeah. And can you copy paste the command we created? Yeah. So this should not throw an error. So it will just overwrite it and we should get the data. So the same scope parameters or the arguments we can make use while trying to write the data into Hive. Okay, so it is again giving some error. Okay, so we need to delete this directory also, because before that, like it wrote the data. Can we just write that argument hyphen hyphen, or just manually delete that directory quickly? Yeah.
Department.
Yes.
Department.
Yeah. That's the bug. Yeah. Now can you execute the command again? Copy from Notepad, so it will be a quick copy paste. Okay, so I have shown the way. Like you can do all the, if you want to do R&D and the possible arguments, you can just do R&D. So like all, maybe if you want to make use of your scope arguments or your scope job or your scope incremental job, you can do all those things and directly write the data to Hive table. So that can be performed. Okay. So what I want is maybe like we'll try to stop the session today. So what I want is, meanwhile this is getting completed, can you go to your notepad? Yeah. Can we write one thing? So I want you to create two tables. So can we write the problem statement? Create two tables in MySQL. Create two tables
Any name suggestion?
No, it's your call. Means like any call. But create two tables. You have not written the two.
Okay.
Create two tables in MySQL database. No, it's like we not are able to understand that TO. How we will understand? Either write numeric 2 or write TWO2. Yeah. Create two tables in MySQL. Okay. And directly import these two tables into Hive tables. Understood what is the scenario? Create two tables in MySQL and directly import into Hive. Or directly. So same integration what we are trying to do with single table, I want you to execute with one command, but multiple tables should be taken in the single command. Did everyone understand this scenario?
Yes.
First two tables will be created inside the MySQL database.
Yeah.
After that, we have to use this command. Have to link out, right? Two tables at a time it will be inputted.
Right. So you have to do something with your scope Hive integration command. So with that command, both the tables should get imported from your MySQL database to your Hive in one go only. I don't want you to write two scope Hive statements. I want only one scope Hive statement.
So meaning these two tables in SQL should be merged, and we need to import the
No.
one.
Those two tables should be separate. That's why I said two tables, right? So can you write table names T1 and T2? Let's write T1 and T2 table name. T1 comma T2. Yeah. So these are the two tables, and let's write three columns: ID, name, salary. T1 columns would be ID, name, salary. Both the tables should have the same column: ID, comma name, comma salary. Simple.
What about in Hive?
So
Is it table? T3 and T4 or only T3?
see, while importing what we did, why we gave the one. There will be only one table, right? Or two tables.
Yeah. One.
How it means for that earlier it was one table, right?
Yeah.
So now it will be how many tables?
2.
So
Two tables.
how it will be 2 tables?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
Yeah, that's what you'll have to again find it out.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where the question is. Like, means you'll have to do some R&D on these two things. But again,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
like pretty straightforward. You are all means like, but that is not the answer. So if you are importing 2 tables should be created.
Yeah, okay. Fine, sir.
Okay. So we don't want one means again like do anything, but it's your call. Like, but we should get the solution. Any questions for today's session? So I'll try to stop that. Actually, I was planning to do more of the things, but somehow like initially we just invested a lot of time on scoop import, but that's not an issue because I wanted to show the different file formats. We need to see the serialization and deserialization, and then we'll try to see how we can do the scoop in Avro format and the Parquet format, and how we can use the Surdays. Okay, so I'm stopping the